Before a company launches an expensive consumer survey, they have a choice to make. They can spend tens of thousands of dollars asking people questions, or they can start with desk research, the systematic analysis of secondary data that already exists. Pouring capital straight into primary fieldwork without looking at what is already documented is a severe drain on resources. This flowchart maps out the correct order of operations for market analysis. We can clearly see that desk research sits right at the top, serving as the required foundational layer before any qualitative or quantitative fieldwork begins. The most efficient starting point for this research isn't a global web search. It sits inside a company's own customer relationship management system and internal sales records. A basic internal database holds hard metrics on total customer count, geographic location, purchase frequency, and the average spend per order. Extracting this data first ensures that an organization never pays an external agency to discover numbers they already own. Once internal data is exhausted, researchers turn to the external landscape. Decades of institutional and public information have been meticulously archived and made available for analysis. Today, those archives are vast global databases. Researchers can pull company financial filings directly from the SEC's EDGAR database or track international import and export statistics using the United Nations Comtrade platform. The U.S. Department of Commerce operates as another heavyweight statistical engine, offering detailed, free data tracking entirely specific industry sectors. These public repositories provide the factual baseline of a market's size and structure. A researcher can map out an entire global industry without spending a single dollar on data acquisition. But a standard web search for this data will generate millions of useless promotional hits. Researchers have to apply lateral thinking and tactical search operators to cut through the noise and find the raw data. By using advanced search operators, you can force the search engine to ignore general websites entirely and only return specific document types, like spreadsheets or PDFs. If a researcher needs data on construction jobs, they don't search the phrase normally. They type filetype.xls followed by the exact phrase employment in the construction industry in quotation marks. Finding the data is only the first step. Published figures are often flawed or outdated, so any critical metric must be cross-referenced against 2 or 3 separate sources before it can be trusted. Relying on the first result in a standard search query guarantees that you will base expensive business decisions on statistical anomalies. For highly repetitive data collection, researchers use web scraping, deploying specialized software bots to navigate websites and extract targeted information at scale. These bots can continuously monitor competitor pricing across thousands of product pages or compile extensive databases of public contact details for lead generation. But secondary data has a strict limit. It can give you the numbers, but it cannot measure human attitudes, customer satisfaction, or how a brand is truly perceived in the market. Spreadsheets and scraped databases capture historical facts. They cannot replace the human interaction required to uncover why a consumer actually makes a purchase. The strategic sequence is clear. Map out the factual landscape using desk research for pennies on the dollar, and save your primary research budget exclusively for discovering the attitudinal motivations that data alone cannot explain.